What's up, future content makers and streamers? It's Ian from Senpapis here, and today I'll be helping you guys out with my tutorial for recording gameplay with the newest OBS Studio version that just came out today, 0.150 if not mistaken, and for avoiding the hardware encoding overload error. And just to start this video off, if you guys like this video and want to see more tips and tutorials on the technical aspects of gameplay, recording, and let's plays, or streaming, or whatever, go ahead and move that little mouse you got over there straight over to the subscribe button and leave me a comment letting me know what kind of video you want to see next. Alright, let's get into it with a quick explanation for what OBS really is. For those of you who don't know, and I mean, I'm not sure why you wouldn't know if you're watching this video, OBS stands for Open Broadcasting Software, and it's really a software for recording gameplay, capturing your screen footage, streaming, that kind of stuff. So it's free to use, it's really convenient. It is in beta though, so there are constant updates for it, and you know, it's still in beta, so there are bugs and stuff. That was my girlfriend, she just sneezed in the background, but for this tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to do the whole process start to finish, meaning that if you don't have OBS, we're going to be going ahead and getting OBS and then installing, getting all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and open up our browsers. I use Chrome, doesn't really matter what you use. And we're going to go to the OBS website. I already have it there on my start menu thing, but I'll go ahead and show you guys how to get there. OBS. obsproject.com. I'll give you guys a link in the browser, the description box below. I can't fucking talk. Giving you guys a link to this website, but there's two options right now for OBS. There's OBS Classic and OBS Studio. I personally use OBS Studio due to the fact that I've read that it uses less CPU, meaning it's easier to run on most computers. Either one is fine really, but what I'm doing in this video might not apply for you if you get OBS Classic. So let's go ahead and get OBS Studio over here. It's gonna take a second, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it real quick. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you guys opened up that installation file, and we're gonna go ahead and get started with setting up OBS. Click next. You're gonna go ahead and agree to the terms of agreement, even if you don't read it. I mean, nobody really ever reads this, so whatever. Yeah, I install it to my C drive. You can install it wherever, really. It's gonna extract all the files, all the goodies, everything that you want. And if I'm not mistaken, the OBS that you download from the front page has the browser extension, which is really useful for streaming, so that's just something that's included now. It used to not be. It's a nice touch. It's what you guys use for, like, overlays and shit like that. Like, when someone subscribes, it'll show so-and-so subscribed, but, you know, whatever. Let's go ahead and run OBS Studio 0.15.0. You're gonna go ahead and agree again. Same shit. Nothing unusual. There it is. Cool. So, this is what you get when you start OBS. When you want to record, you need to go ahead and set up your settings. So here's all your settings. You have your general, your stream, your output, your audio, video, hotkeys, and advanced. For me personally, I like the dark theme, so let's go ahead and apply that real quick. And we don't really care about the streaming settings because this is more for recording, so we're gonna go straight to output. For video bitrate, most people want to capture 1080p. If you go to YouTube, you can find a chart for what video bitrate you want to use for uploading different resolutions and shit. For 1080p 60 FPS, you want 12,000 for your bitrate. Oh, I'll also go ahead and put up the picture, the chart, whatever, up on the screen, and I will also link to it down in the description box. I can't talk, I'm sorry. So, personally, I use 8,000. Because it's kind of a nice in-between between 12,000 and 5,000. 5,000 is what I recommend for lower-end computers just because it's less taxing on the hardware. 12,000, I mean, the difference between 8,000 and 4,000 with the end result, it's not really that big, and 12,000 requires a lot more power. And from what I've gathered, when you do a higher bitrate, you have a higher chance of getting the encoding error, which we're trying to avoid. So you want to go ahead and set it to 8,000. Encoder, you can do software or you can do GPU. For this video, we're going to do software. I could do a video on GPU as well if you guys want to see that. And we're going to go ahead and enable advanced encoder settings. In for streaming service bitrate limits. We're gonna go ahead and hit no here because we're not streaming right now. We're only doing video capture. And for your encoder preset, I use very fast. It's the default. You can use ultra fast if your computer is a bit on the slower side. It gives you a bit less quality, but you can record. I mean, it makes it easier to record. So I would go ahead and do ultra fast if you have a pretty low to medium end computer. And the lower you go on here, the higher quality you're gonna get, but as far as I know, most computers can't really run slower, slow, medium. Maybe if you have a 6700K, that's right. You can probably run those, but for the time being, we're gonna go with very fast. Recording, I personally set my recording path to something in the D drive because you're gonna wanna go ahead and, what's it called? If you're recording to your C drive, the same drive that you're using for all your loading from your programs and games and shit, you're gonna be putting a lot more stress on the drive. Using the D drive just relieves your main drive of stress, and you end up getting easier or better performance. So let's go ahead and make a folder. You can go ahead and hit browse, go through your shit, this PC, OS. I use E drive actually, I don't know why I put D. And let's go ahead and make a new folder. You don't have to do this, I'm just doing it for this video. Sample folder. And then you just go ahead and select your new folder. Bam, now all your recordings go straight to this folder. You don't have to worry about overloading your main hard drive with too much shit going on. Makes it nice and easy. For your recording quality, you can go ahead and use the same as your stream, but your recording format, you want to use MP4. Most video editors take MP4. FLV is for directly uploading to YouTube. You can do that if you want, I don't. MOV is for Macs, so if you have a Mac, you might want to use MOV. MKV, I wouldn't recommend it, and then I don't know what these two do. Just stick to MP4. Makes everything easier for you. For your audio sample rate, right here in the audio tab, you want to go ahead and do 48. It's just a bit higher quality, it's nicer, whatever. And you want stereo audio, so go ahead and do that. For your video, you're going to want to put your base resolution, this is the resolution of your actual screen, to what it actually is. Mine is 1920 by 1080. And then you want to set your output resolution to a decent size. I could do 1920 by 1080, but from what I've experienced, I get better performance at 1440 by 810. The reason for that being is you don't record as big of files, it's a bit easier for your computer to render. And by lowering my resolution just a little bit, I can get the whole 60 FPS that I want. I personally would recommend a slightly lower resolution for a higher frame rate. That way editing is a lot easier, it looks a lot smoother. But I mean, if you want, you can do, let me click on that fucking arrow, 1920 by 1080 and then lower your FPS. Either one is fine, I just prefer the higher frame rate. If you do 1920 by 1080 and 60 FPS, there's a chance you might get the encoding error, and I just want to avoid that, so let's go ahead and keep going. I keep it at bilinear personally because it's the fastest one, least taxing on your hardware. It's really not that noticeable since you're barely scaling it down, but bicubic is fine too, but for the sake of the video I'm going to do bilinear since that's what I actually use. And then for your advanced tab, this is one that's really important. They just added this. This is a new feature for 0.15. You want to put your process priority to high. I'm pretty sure this is a new feature for 0.15 because I never saw it before. Your renderer, I use Direct 3D 11, and then my color range, I do full. Color space, the higher number. Recording, file name format, you can change this whatever you want. Overwrite a file exists. I don't keep this turned on because I don't want to overwrite any of my files. And then these are streaming settings, so it's not really that important. Something you can do also is you can have buttons for starting your stream and stopping your stream, or stop recording and start recording. I don't use these because I like to do checks on everything before I start recording, so I just open OBS, go to settings, and then start recording. But if you want to do that, you can do something like on your number pad, plus for start, and then minus for stop. It's really whatever you want to do. Go ahead and hit apply, it'll apply all your settings. And then let's go ahead and also show you guys how to record an actual game. Oh, and if you notice here, you can see this is my mic. When I record my games, I actually turn off my mic right here. And then I drag my Audacity into the same window or whatever. And I record my audio separately, just because you can do post-processing in Audacity, so I highly recommend recording separately. For some people, their CPUs can't handle running both at the same time, but Audacity is a lower CPU intensive program, so there's really no reason to not run it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start running a game. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Steam, so I'll cut back to you guys when I have my game running. Alright, and we're back. I opened up a new game, and I'm gonna show you guys how to set up your little OBS window over here to record gameplay. So one thing to note is you can have multiple profiles, one for recording, one for streaming. You just hit new, type in streaming or whatever you're doing. Basically, it lets you have different settings, so you can have one setting set up, I guess, for streaming, one for recording. I personally do that because I have different settings for both. But yeah, to set up a recording, you go to your scenes, scene 1, and then you add a new source. If you're playing a full screen game, you want to do game capture. You want to create a new one, so I'm going to go ahead and call this Nekopara, because that's what we're playing today. I'm weeaboo trash, I know. And you most importantly want to have capture any full screen application turned on. This means any full screen game that's running will be captured. And I limit my frame rate when I capture, because if I have 300 FPS when I'm playing, and I'm only capturing 60, there's no point. I'm just running the GPU and CPU a little bit harder than they need to run. So go ahead and limit it to avoid any issues. Okay, so as you can see, there's nothing here. It's because you have to tab into your game to let your OBS software know that you're running a game. You tab back, bam, look at that, you got a fucking game here. Congratulations, guys, you guys are ready to start recording. But yeah, if you guys want to know how to record, it's really simple. Since you guys set a button for recording, you can push that button. So for me, it's plus and minus. If I hit plus, it's over here. You can see it says stop recording, which means it's recording now. I hit minus, bam, I just recorded some gameplay. Awesome, cool. Or alternatively, you can just go ahead over here and hit start recording. Bam, I'm recording some gameplay. Look at this, cute ass cat girl. Bam, great, awesome. Got that footage I wanted, and let's go ahead and stop the recording. Bam, look at that, good to go. And I mean, that's really all there is to it. If you guys like that video or like this tutorial, go ahead and let me know. If you guys want to see something else, go ahead and let me know. And if you need help with anything, again, go ahead and let me know. No shame in asking for help. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Hey guys, one thing I forgot to mention during the video is that when you're recording or prior to recording, once you verify that your setup is correct and that you're going to record a game, you can just go ahead and right-click this box over here. Enable preview, you can uncheck that, and you turn off the preview. And what this does is it makes your computer use less of its CPU when running and recording, and it just reduces your chance of lagging or dropping frames or, you know, whatever. So if you know your settings are correct, you can disable this right here once you start recording, and it'll probably give you a bit of a better performance with your recording, and you're less likely to get the hardware encoding error. So go ahead and try that. I just figured I would let you guys know. I mean, in my opinion, it's worth doing. You don't have to, but it's just my opinion.